Time for the late night boxing talks. I'm gonna let the list populate. Couple of interesting stories and movements in the sport of boxing right now. The lightweight division seems to be the talk of the town. The proliferation of talent that we're seeing, an influx of young, unbeaten fighters. While there are still many young, unbeaten fighters that are already there, some that we're more familiar with than others, some that we're more fond of than others. There's a lot going on in the lightweight division. There's a lot going on overall when it comes to a lot of these unbeaten up-and-comers and some of the more, I was goody spotlight, was goody Jack. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot going on in the sport right now. Even here at year's end, there's a lot happening. And, Errol, everybody's talking about the Errol thing, which I think we've talked to death. Was goody Luis, was goody Villain, was goody Riley, was goody Kelly Young, Edwin Castillo, que lo queman. Rositsky, yeah, so he has another fight, man. I think 2 fights fell through for Rositsky. I know he was supposed to fight some guy that fell through. I just want to see the guy active because he's an entertaining fighter. He's more brawler than boxer, but he's a very entertaining guy, and you know that he's a durable guy because he was able to go balls to the wall for 12 rounds with Oscar Rivas at Bridgerweight, even though he's really not a Bridgerweight per se. He's actually more of a cruiserweight. I was goody hot boxing. Appreciate you. Degenerates in the building. Leo, what it do? Country, what it do? Michael, what it do? And yeah, man, we out here. And yeah, I would like to see Rositsky be more active this next year, actually. I want to see more of that guy in the cruiserweight division because you could put him in there with almost anybody and something exciting is going to happen because he's a brawler. I think because of the previous era of boxing, brawlers ended up getting a bad rap. In the previous era, there was a push towards, cerebral boxing and pure boxers like Floyd. And that's because he was basically the poster child for the previous era, that he was a pure boxer. So I think a lot of fight fans that really weren't all that familiar with the history of the sport, they don't appreciate a good brawler. That, brawler might become a champion. He might not. Brawler might go all the way. He might not. But the brawler is going to give you a show. And that's why you got to appreciate a good brawler, a guy who's going to go out there, win or lose, he's going to put on a show. And I think people in this era are starting to reacquaint themselves with the value and the virtue of a good brawler. Your Derek Chisora, your Dillian White, that, yeah, they got flaws. They're not perfect. They got losses. Sometimes they get knocked out, but they're going to put on a show. And that's what you come to see, whether you attend a fight or you go to one, you watching it at home, you want to see a good brawl. And I think that people are reacquainting themselves and starting to appreciate a good brawler. That no, not every boxer is a thinking man's boxer. Not every boxer is going to be refined and all of that. Some guys, their bread and butter is their ability to charge a guy, blitz a guy, and just get at him. There's been plenty of brawlers in the annals of boxing history. Rocky Marciano is one of the more famous brawlers, He's one of the more famous brawlers in the history of the sport because he definitely wasn't a pure boxer, and he wasn't a boxer puncher. He was a swarmer. He was a brawler, and he had his way. He had his methodology. And you'll find that in the history of the sport, there's actually a lot of brawlers that are thought of fondly because no matter what, they gave you a show. I feel like in this era, people are starting to reacquaint themselves with that. Those who aren't familiar with it and those like myself who, brawlers, you don't have to be perfect. The idea that you need to stay unbeaten or that you need to be perfect. No, you do not. No, you do not. Jose Ramirez is spoiled from huge purses. He made it. Yeah, man. He's getting very good money. And he was selling tickets in Southern California for a while. I remember I read that he sold like 14,000 tickets over there. He has a real grassroots following in Southern California. The story is that he wants to fight Ramirez-Prograis. And I read an article, in the article where Robert Garcia was talking about the Anthony Joshua stuff, he actually mentioned that they want to do that fight in March, Ramirez versus Prograis. I don't know how far along in negotiations they are with that fight. I would love to see that fight. But stylistically, Regis has the edge. You know, Jose's the bigger fighter, the taller fighter, the longer fighter. But stylistically, Regis has the edge. And I think punch for punch, Regis is a bigger puncher than Jose Ramirez. So, you know, it doesn't really favor Jose. Then you tack on that the last time we saw Jose, he was in there with Jose Pedraza, and you know he didn't look great in that fight. Jose was Jose Pedraza. He was moving around the ring, beating those feet, making himself a hard target, and it was. I thought Jose was going to run him over. I thought Ramirez was going to run over Pedraza, and he didn't. He was struggling with a moving target. With Regis Prograis, the assignment is a little different because what Regis is going to do is roll and counter or slip and counter. That's his bread and butter. That's what he's good at. That if you want to stand in front of this guy and throw, he's going to make you think twice. There is a question as to whether or not Regis can hurt Jose Ramirez the way that he just hurt Chon Cepada and the way that he's hurt a lot of guys. Josh Taylor took his best. But Josh Taylor, you know, at that time, that was certainly a better Josh Taylor than the one we've been seeing. Though I don't want to read too much into that because it was really only one fight. But Prograis versus Ramirez, I do like that fight. And like I said, in the article that I read where Robert Garcia was talking about all the Anthony Joshua stuff and the trainer stuff and the trainer switch and just all of that, in the article that I read, Robert Garcia said that Jose wants that fight, and he wants that fight for March. So I guess that's more or less a tentative fight date for when they want to do it. And the problem with that, at least for Jose Ramirez, is he hasn't, you know, by the time March gets here, he will have not fought in a while. You know, Regis ain't a guy that you want to shake off ring rust with, but that's the look of it. That basically, you know, you're going to go into that fight. And I think it's been a year, actually, since the fucking Pedraza fight by the time March gets here. So, you know, that's the look of that. And that's what they're talking about doing. I like that fight. I think it's a great fight, but I don't think it favors Jose Ramirez. And he's a brawler, you know, he's a brawler. He's your come forward aggressive, mid-range to inside pressure fighter. Jules watching the relay earlier. You really think Canelo could do better? Bivol did say he had to fight hard to beat. I'll say this. Stylistically, it just doesn't favor him because he's talking about his hand for starters, right? And even if you throw more punches, that's just going to make you easier to counter for that guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're still the shorter fighter. You're still the stumpier fighter. You're still the fighter that has to get mid-range to inside while he's fighting on the balls of his feet and using his jab. So the assignment is not that different. And if you force a fight on him, which I mentioned in the video, that he looked like he was in the first gear the whole fight. And if you make things interesting and he hits another gear, yo, he could stop Canelo, man. He could, yeah. Did you see ESPN state Jose Ramirez turned down a Regis Prograis fight because of the 65-35 split to Comey at 135 for a WBC final eliminator? They said Comey versus Jose is set for March 25th. It's decent. No, I don't think that's decent. If he just fucked up the Prograis fight, to fight Richard Comey, you're fighting another lightweight. You know, you fought a lightweight the last time I saw you in Jose Pedraza. Another guy who moved up from lightweight. If you're now fighting Richard Comey, that's not a better fight than the Prograis fight. Was that a Photoshop job, or is Spence really that big right now? If so, he really needs to rethink his career. He looks depressed, in my opinion. Okay, the one on Twitter, that's an obvious Photoshop job. But the one I used in the relay, the side profile, that's not doctored. If somebody doctored that, it wasn't me. But the one where his face is all fat, yeah, that one's obviously a shop. I took motherfucking Frank Martin's eye and I lowered the shit. I made Errol's face all fat. But that one's obvious. The one I used in the relay, that's not doctored. At least it wasn't doctored by me. His work ethic is insane. How can he fix stamina? And that was, that was the most glaring issue that I saw. That he was tired, man. He was tired, and every time Bivol did land something on him, it looked like he was taking something out of him. Every time he landed something on him, so you got to put it together that between the punches that Canelo is going for that are not having any effect, the punches that he misses, which are costing him energy, having to chase this guy down because he's a moving target, and your already existing stamina issues because Canelo never had the greatest stamina. It looks a certain way. Personally, I'm not big on the rematch. I don't really want to see that. I would prefer that he fight Benavidez and expose him because it's about time that he get exposed. If Caleb doesn't expose David, I would prefer to see Canelo expose David because he's not that good a fighter. He's just big, and he's not that good a boxer. He's just big, and I feel like David Benavidez is a more winnable fight than a Bivol fight. Bivol, the style is all wrong. He's big, he's durable, he's cerebral, and he never got out of first gear the first time you fought him. If you push the pace, he might hit a second gear and really put it on you, Shout out to Ryder. Salute, Jay. Which division is in desperate need of an overhaul? And which fighter do you think will be rebound year? Merry Christmas to you and yours. Merry Christmas to you and yours, Ryder of the Storm. I think the division that needs a facelift the most is the middleweight division, more so than the welterweight division, even though they're both pretty bad. Like, I file them in the same file, that they're divisions that I'm just kind of done with them, and nothing exciting is coming out of those divisions. But I say the middleweight division more than any other because, Jermall Charlo's been holding that title hostage for a very long time. Jaime doesn't want to fight anybody. Demetrius left the division, not that it matters, because when he was there, he didn't get to fight in any big fights. Yanni Bekalim Kanulai, he just looked a little bit bad, but that's not really what makes the division bad. What makes it bad is that people won't fight him. So you have a division where any number of guys is staying away from a fighter or fighters. Chris Eubank Jr. is in the middleweight division, and he's not going to fight Yanni Beck. He didn't want to fight Demetrius. Nothing happened between him and Charlo when he was over there on the PBC side of things. Golovkin is old, so he's measuring what he's doing, taking his time and picking his opponents. So it's just a division where nothing exciting, at least right now, is on the horizon. So I would say middleweight is the division that needs a facelift more than any other division in the sport right now. Middleweight, it sucks. And the only division that sucks as much as or just as much as middleweight is welterweight. Welterweight really sucks. And the arguments, the bickering, the factions of fans, the Errol Dick Riders, the Crawford fans, the whole thing's been done to death for 4 going on 5 years. Errol has reiterated that Terence Crawford is not going to be next. So we are now where we were a couple of years ago, and that is nowhere. We are nowhere. The way I see it, that division definitely needs a facelift because title shots are not being given out. You have 3 different belts that Errol has that are basically not in circulation because he's an even less active fighter than Terence. Terence is down to 1 fight a year. I think it's been 1 fight a year since the pandemic hit, but 1 fight a year since 2020. Errol is fighting less than him, and he has 3 belts. So that's 3 separate sets of ranks where fighters don't get a title shot, and we're watching it, Ennis, they're trying very hard to make Jaron Ennis Terrence's problem, but he's number 1 in the IBF. And who's IBF champion? Errol. They're I see the mind fuck, I see the psyop that they're trying to make it like, oh, Terrence should fight Boots. Listen, bro, Boots fights exclusively on Showtime, and Showtime failed to get the goddamn Spence fight done. So what are the odds they're going to get this fight done? Appreciate that, Will. Mind if I give a second opinion? I heard someone say this was a bad year for boxing. I'm paraphrasing the actual quote. In your opinion, was it a good year for boxing, or is it the stagnation holding the sport back? It's a two-part answer, bro. It's not. It wasn't a bad year for boxing. It was a bad year for American boxing, but it wasn't a bad year for boxing. We got some really big fights this year. We got some really great knockouts this year. A lot of fighters made their own history this year. For starters, Naoya Inoue last week made history for the Japanese boxing scene, for himself and his legacy, and the bantamweight division overall, that has not had an undisputed champion in 50 years. That happened this year. Undisputed champion at bantamweight. Earlier this year at 154, Jermell Charlo became his division's undisputed champion in what was an excellent fight from start to finish, and people cared. You saw it in the numbers that almost 1 million people watched that fight on Showtime because they knew it was going to be a good fight. They knew it was on the line, and it turned out to live up to expectations. That happened this year, you know. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Those fights delivered. More recently, Shannon O'Connell and Ebony Bridges. That fight delivered. You know, they're relegating things to a handful of fighters that perhaps, you know, it wasn't a great year for them. But overall, this was a good year for boxing. I think it was a good year for boxing. We got some great fights this year, you know, really good fights. Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceição. It was a great fight. Devin Haney becoming an undisputed champion at lightweight. Think about that. 3 guys became undisputed this year. Devin Haney, Jermell Charlo, Naoya Inoue. No, it wasn't a bad year for boxing. No. It was a good year for boxing. I think it was a good year for boxing. You know, I don't relegate the whole sport to a fight that didn't happen, like Crawford and Spence. You know, I'm like, you know, forget it, bro. Like, I've been saying that shit ain't gonna go down. So I don't measure the year based on that. And if the welterweight division sucks, well, guess what? That's one division in the sport. There are plenty more. It's one division. If middleweight sucks, there's still more divisions that don't suck, you know? We got a really good fight in Bivol versus Ramirez. That was a really good fight. We got a good unification knockout in Better B versus Joe Smith Jr. That was nice. You know, so I don't, you know, I think it was a good year for boxing personally. 3 undisputed male champions. Clarissa went undisputed, I think, for that was the 3rd time I believe she went undisputed. Chantel Cameron went undisputed, you know, like it was a good year for boxing. Like, nah, I don't agree with that. I think it was a good year for boxing. Yeah, Regis's fight with Chung, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. You know, so I don't agree with the contention that it wasn't a good year for boxing. At least I was entertained most of the year. I had a good fight to watch most of the year. So I don't think it was a bad year for boxing at all. Like, no, I don't think it was a bad year for boxing. And I'm going to open up the chat to the panel. Tonight, more or less what I want to talk about is, where do people rate Frank Martin, and what's their impression of him having beaten Michel Rivera? That I think it's a good win, and I think most people will agree it's a good win, but Michel Rivera, to begin with, was not that high on the totem pole of lightweights. You know, you get a battle of the unbeatens, that's great. That shows that Frank separated himself from Michel Rivera, but where would you rank him? Do you think he's as good as Devin? Do you think he's as good as Shakur? Do you think he's as good as Vasyl Lomachenko or even Jermaine Ortiz? Because beating Michel Rivera, while it's a great win, there's bigger fish to fry. And because of the politics, we may not really know how good you are, because it's not everybody fighting everybody. It's the champions and the contenders at Top Rank, and these guys that they're not champions and they're not the contenders. No, you're not. You know, so that's going to be the subject for today. You know, what do people think of Frank Martin, as well as what makes sense for Jared Anderson moving forward, him having taking care of taking care of Jerry Forrest the way that he did, he's obviously ready for something more, but how much more? You know, you see what happened to Mary Spencer this past Friday, that you don't want to get carried away and match the fighter too tough too soon because they've been looking good. You know, it's gradual. You take your time. So with that in mind, what makes sense for Jared Anderson moving forward? What makes sense for him? We'll see, man. We'll see. Because the other thing is, if they're preparing Frank for Tank, Tank didn't beat nobody at lightweight. I'll say it again. He didn't beat nobody at lightweight. No. You beat Rolly. Who did he beat? You beat Usyk. Who did he beat? You beat Gamboa. Who didn't beat Gamboa? You know? So, and that's why I've been saying that in the videos that I've been posting about that subject, that every other fighter that isn't a PBC fighter, their aim is what you would expect. They aim to become champions. But if you're a PBC fighter, they don't seem to be aiming for that. They all seem to be aiming for a Davis fight. Well, he's not a champion. No, you a secondary titleist. You're not a champion. Devin is undisputed. You a Happy Meal. You know what I mean? That's one. Two, you didn't beat nobody in this division. Like, fuck the gaslighting. You didn't beat nobody in this division. So if the best thing that they could do for you is get you a Tank fight in the greatest scheme of things, what does that really mean? You know, and I also want to talk about the Hector Garcia fight. Bobby Santos was on a Boxing Voice earlier today, or at least I saw a clip from the Boxing Voice, and shout out to them, Nesta Gibbs and all those good people. You know, he was talking about how Hector has 400 amateur fights to Rolly Romero's 20. And what he's basically saying is that, you know, Tank is dealing with a guy in Hector that comes from a good amateur background, a guy who is an unbeaten champion, that he's different from the fighters that Tank has been fighting. And I want to, you know, read the room and ask you guys, do you agree with that? Do you feel that Hector is better than Rolly, or better than Usyk, or better than Leo? You know, could he present more of a challenge than those fighters did? Shout out to Michael. You need an Alicia interview before the end of the year. Look, man, I know y'all like looking at Alicia. You know, I understand, but I don't like to bother people. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hit her up, man. I'll tell you what. All right, so I'll see, you know, I'll try to get the availability, and hopefully, you know, I can deliver that for you guys, you great guys that, you know, come here and watch this channel. And yeah, man. And I just want to get people's thoughts on Hector as a fighter and what they think his chances are, you know, because it is true that, you know, yeah, 400 amateur fights, that's just pretty good. And I remember that Sulem had told me about the guy, that she used to see that guy in the amateurs. She saw him come through in the amateurs, that she remembered that guy. And he's a good fighter, and he's a polite person. And, you know, do you guys feel like this is a potential banana skin? Or do you think, no, he's going to get knocked out? You know, I just want to see how you guys feel about that. Well, I can't read that, but I do appreciate that. That's very nice of you. I can't read it. It's in Greek, but, you know, and I don't know how to read Greek. That's one of the few languages I didn't learn how to speak, but I can see that it's Greek. And, yeah, you know, shout out to Lisa, shout out to Danny. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, what's goody, Shelton? I want to get Shelton. I want to get Shelton on the panel. Shelton, if you got time, bro. I mean, Shelton, you know why they can't fight, bro? Like, you know how this works, bro. The politics. Look, when it comes to Shakur and Frank, people think of them as being in the same bracket because they're both young fighters. Well, really, Frank is actually older than Shakur, but he's not as far along in his career as Shakur. Shakur is a very dynamic young man who's already a two-division champion. He already shared the ring with two champions, one in Jamel Herring for the WBO and one in Oscar Valdez, who was an unbeaten two-division champion. He was a champion at two weights. And Frank is entering contender level. Shakur is no mere contender. He's a former champion, a two-division champion. So even if we take the politics aside, Shakur doesn't have shit that he needs to prove to me. I see how good he is. I know that, this kid is next level. Whereas with Frank, no, yeah, those eggs need more bacon. Yeah, because you didn't beat no champion, did you? No. So that's how it is. So I'm gonna post a link in the chat, bro, and we gonna chop it up. And fellas, please, parliamentary procedure. If you hear somebody's in the middle of a sentence, don't cut them off to tell me something that's in the comments. If Golden Boy can make Virgil versus Stanionis, why can't Jay Prince and PBC Showtime work together? I'll tell you why, Tony. Stanionis is a pro-bellum fighter. He's a Richard Schaefer fighter. He's not a Heyman fighter. He's a pro-bellum fighter, actually. And even though he's been boxing on PBC shows, which is likely creating confusion, his promoter is Richard Schaefer. Also, when you look at it...
What's up, fellas?
I was good. A Montes Stanionis is not a big part of their bottom line. That's the other thing. That even if he were a Heyman fighter, he's not rudimentary to their operation or what they're trying to do. So that's not a good example. In other words, that Virgil and Stanionis are fighting because he's not a Heyman fighter.
Yeah, he's not. He's with Pro Bellum, and he's like I hate to say it, a lot of the Pro Bellum guys are road warriors. They fight on other platforms, and
the only guy that Pro Bellum has that you could say is like a I guess a bit of an A side, or just somebody who's not any old body that you could use him any old way, is probably Sonny Edwards.
Paul Butler was too, but I mean he went into that Inoue fight right away.
Yeah, but don't they have Regis as well?
No.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But he's not.
No. I heard they don't. Somebody told me that they don't no more. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I was
on their IG. On their IG, they just posted them a couple days ago.
They do because they sign. Here's the thing, bro. With Pro Bellum, they sign fighters, but they're usually fighting on other networks, so they manage them. Whatever they got going on with them, it's hardly.
So let me start it off. And I want to go to Midwest because Midwest isn't normally on the show. Midwest, Hector Garcia, bro. WBA super featherweight champion, 400 amateur fights, 2 quality scalps in Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez. Do you feel that he can be a challenge for Gervonta?
I'm going to say no. I might be in the minority, but I don't think the Chris Colbert and Gutierrez is good scalps. One was a prospect. Like, we gonna give people credit for beating the prospects now?
Damn, Midwest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt like that at first, but then I did some research. I'll give him the Colbert, the Gutierrez is a mix because man, I heard some stuff. So but I think he should get full credit because bro, he went in there at short notice as like a 50-1 underdog, moving up in weight.
Let me address this. Maybe I don't know what's on their website, but I know that as of early this year, it was either early this year or late last year, they announced that Pro Bellum signed a Montes Stanionis, and he is Richard Schaefer's fighter. Irrespective of what's on PBC's website, he's a Schaefer fighter. He's not a Heyman fighter. He's a Schaefer fighter. Stanionis is. Go ahead, Polo.
What? So that I saw when the fight between what's his name Cepeda. I think Regis has something to do with Schaefer, doesn't he too?
Look, ahead of the fight, I got some intel that Regis was about to be done with all of that and that he's going to have options. Now, I don't know what the relationship is. I don't know if moving forward he's still going to work with Richard Schaefer. I have no idea. I only know what I was told. And what I was told is that, he's loose as a goose and free to go. But
Wow. Hey,
that's just what I was told. It could be wrong, but that's just what I was told.
We never know. BLK Prime. So as soon as BLK Prime came around, maybe.
No, pero también no te la pierdas que Broner said que yeah, I'm gonna fight Regis. He said that shit.
Hey, to be honest, bro, one thing about Broner is I think he will fight him. Obviously, he's gonna get the shit beat out of him, but he'll fight him.
He would. I want to go to Shelton. Shelton, you got Hector Garcia, unbeaten guy, Dominican, no hair on his head, title on his waist, 400 amateur fights, 2 quality scalps in Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez. Can he pose a challenge for Gervonta?
I mean, he putting the guy up from 30. The guy's he's big for 30, though. I'll give him that. I really can't say because my problem with all these young fighters is we've never seen any of these guys tested. None of them. So for me, I don't know what a fighter is until I see him tested. Until I see him facing adversity. Then we can find out what he is. I really don't know what Garcia is because he's been blowing through people. And I don't know what Tank is because Tank been blowing through people. So hopefully we get a good competitive fight. I mean, from the way it looks, we don't see that the way people think of Tank.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. I think we're gonna get a good competitive fight. I think this guy might actually be a good fighter.
Let me go to my psychic friend and my fellow Chilean, Leo. Leo, how familiar are you with Hector? And do you see a banana skin? I personally, I want to say this because of what Midwest said. I do feel that the Chris Colbert scalp was a good scalp because Hector was not supposed to win that fight. They brought him there to lose, to be real with you.
Notice.
Yeah, and the promotion was more behind Chris. You could see that they were grooming Chris. They were not grooming Hector. I think Hector really upset the apple cart for them, beating him the way that he did. And Gutierrez, it's not that it's a great scalp, but it's a solid scalp. It's solid because he was the champion and Hector beat him. So it's solid in that way. It's not crazy solid, but it's it's good. It is good.
We gotta give it to him because, like you said, Roger did have the belt, and you gotta also add that Hector was moving up in weight. Their plan was for Chris to fight Roger. Originally, if you if you do your research, bro, Hector wasn't even gonna get a title shot. They already had Roger was gonna fight one of their Golden Boy guys. But obviously, Hector beating Chris, they actually, he's like, yo, I just beat the mandatory. Let me get my shot. And he got it. He beat Roger. I mean, Roger is a name you gotta give. He was a top 5 guy, but like you said, I like the Culver win better because the way he defined the odds that people really didn't think. People weren't picking him, and then that he beat Chris Culver and undefeated. So I give him that respect.
All right,
so
now let me react to this. Okay, Michael says if Devin had no belts, he would be at the same boat as Stevenson, not getting fights because their style is tough and they are not a draw. And nobody likes pure boxers. You don't want to have to deal with that because they're going to frustrate you. They're going to use the ring. They're going to beat those feet, use their legs, stay behind their jab. They're not going to really give you a lot to work with. So, yeah, hot potato. That he would be a hot potato if he didn't have those belts for, to give people a reason to fight him. I agree with that. Now, I want to go to Leo. And shout out to Boxing Gems. I agree with everything you said. That's where I am with it. You see what I mean? That's how I feel about it. But I want to read the room. Leo, is he a banana skin?
Okay, let me say this about Chris Colbert. And I am never going to be high on a guy that has been known to quit on sparring sessions. And Chris Colbert has been known to do that shit. So I knew because I haven't heard nothing about Chris Colbert for like 2 years, 3 years. So I thought for a moment, okay, this guy's got beat by someone solid, and he flew away.
Mm.
But no, he was unbeaten, and he found the guy that he was solid, because I think Hector Garcia is a good fighter.
He's a good
But
fighter.
yeah, now he can beat Gervonta Davis. Look, Gervonta, I'm not high on Gervonta, but I think he has tools, and he can box when he needs to. And the most important thing is a PBC guy. The promotion is behind him.
Hmm.
And look, I don't forget that it's a Cruz fight, but independent of you think Isa Cruz won or lost, Gervonta Davis hurt his hand in that fight, and he still managed to not get blown away by Isa Cruz.
That's true.
He fought behind a jab and got the decision, so I have to give him that. I think he can beat Hector Garcia. I don't think he might have problems, but there is too much in the line to Gervonta Davis to lose. If Hector Garcia goes there and knocks him out cold, wow,
It would have to be. Look, it would have to be that way because
Yeah.
I've seen Hector, and Hector's not an outside jabber. He's not that. Now, if he decides to be that for this fight, then that's the right strategy. Because if your thing is to be in the pocket with Gervonta, and just like Boxing Jim said, some of the best breakdowns on YouTube, the guy keeps his head on center, and he pulls back in straight lines. So I see a guy that he's going to get knocked out. But I saw what Bob Santos said, and it sparked my curiosity. So I want to go to Michael. Michael, what do you think about Hector, man? Is he going to knock Davis out, or is he going to get knocked out?
I don't see him knocking. Well, here's my thing: is that this is gonna be Gervonta's first ever southpaw. So like that does worry me a little bit. Because Gervonta can't get knocked out that way. He might feel weird. It's been years since he fought a southpaw. It's probably his amateur days, which who knows how long ago that was. Plus Hector's game, man. So you never know. I don't know. I'll say Gervonta's gonna win though, probably because he's moving up. He's moving up in weight as well. But I don't forget that when Leo Santa Cruz wanted to land punches on Gervonta, he hit him a lot.
That is true.
He can't forget about that.
That is true.
He was touching him, but he knocked him out cold. But Leo landed a crap ton of punches on this kid.
That is true, and I think Hector punches a little harder than Leo. Can we say that?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you call it? You can outbox Pitbull because he doesn't do much. You know what I mean? That's you can outbox that guy pretty easily. Most people can, I think, honestly, but not Hector. So that's my.
All right, let me read the super chat. The crazy thing is, I remember that fight. I don't know what 5 pounds north will do to him, but I remember how good he was timing Colbert. And the funny thing about Colbert, though, is that fight is not a good parallel for Davis because Colbert can't fucking punch. He can talk, but he can't punch. And he decided, well, I'm not going to be a pure boxer. I'm going to sit in the pocket with it. I don't know why he did that shit. I literally don't. You probably could have won if you would have boxed him. For whatever reason, you wanted to sit in the pocket with him. I didn't understand it, but it is what it is. But the Colbert fight is not a good parallel for what he's going to face in Gervonta because Colbert is a boxer. Davis is a puncher. At his best, he's a puncher. He's a counter puncher, but he's a puncher. He's looking to knock you out. Colbert at his best, he's on the balls of his feet, sticking and moving and staying on the outside. He's that kind of guy. So I don't know. Shout out to Boxing Gym. Salute. I'm betting round 1 through 6 tank knockout. It's neither of their first southpaws. Pedraza, Cuellar, Avalar. I'm gonna go to Villain. Villain, is Hector Garcia a banana skin?
Well, my opinion is I'm probably not on as high on the Tank train as everybody else is. I've watched, at least the last 4 fights. I've seen Tank 3 to 4 fights. I see him lose lots of rounds. I see a guy that has to get bailed out on his power. I do recognize his skill set. He's a good counterpuncher. He is pretty durable, but if he finds adversity, which I don't feel like he has had any adversity for years and years and years. I point back to the Barrios fight. I point back to losing a lot of rounds to Raleigh. He's a beatable fighter. I know a lot of people don't believe me or agree with that, but from watching the last fight against Colbert, I think Colbert is a good talent. He's probably a good C+, B- fighter. And I don't really rank Tank much higher than probably a B or a B+ fighter myself. So I think it's absolutely positively possible for him to beat him. I think Tank is a beatable fighter. I think Tank is hyped up more than he probably should be because, with all due respect, who has he fought? What A-level talent have we seen him in the ring against as a professional fighter? So at this point in time, to me, Tank is still suspect. He's not a proven commodity.
He lost rounds to Rolly. Like, that's the biggest thing.
He lost lots of rounds, in my opinion, up until the knockout.
Exactly.
He was losing and lost lots of rounds against Barrios. I mean, when your daddy Mayweather pulls you aside and says, "Hey, you're down on the cards to a D+, C- fighter."
He was panicked, bro. He was panicked.
With all due respect, that doesn't send a lot of positive vibes my way about your capacity.
He was losing rounds with Cruz. I don't know why people don't see it. Like, watch that fight again and watch how many times he was landing on his body. He was catching him clean. And I don't know what people were predicting, but let's be honest. Everybody said KO under 6, and that shit didn't get.
You know what's interesting about the Cruz fight is Cruz, he really took it to him. Cruz wasn't afraid to stand in front of him. He wasn't.
Took his shots. Did you see that? Shots. He ate that shit, and then he took his. Like, I'm telling you, bro.
That's what creates the question, though. You see what I mean? That look, Cruz wasn't scared to stand in front of him, and he didn't get knocked out. Right. So can Hector duplicate what Cruz did?
I would say yeah, but I think the chin though, because I want to see maybe he got, because remember he did get dropped, but maybe it was a flash knockdown, or maybe. The only thing I'm worried about is that power, because I do think Hector can beat him. Like, that's the thing.
Has Hector been hurt before?
I think he's been knocked down before, hasn't he? He hasn't been knocked down?
No, he got dropped. I was at the fight live.
Yeah, he got dropped.
Avalar. But he wasn't hurt, but he did get it was like a flash knockdown. That's my only thing. But we can't really say that because we seen guys. Example, Oscar De Leon got dropped by a guy that we probably don't even fucking know. He actually did get dropped. Then he went to never get dropped in his career, and look how many punches he fought. So it's not like I don't want to base it on that, but he has been dropped.
Well, he did get fucking dropped. He got dropped by Hopkins, bro.
By Bernard, bro.
No. I'm talking about like he didn't get dropped by Mosley. He didn't get dropped by Tito. He didn't get dropped by.
No, not by Tito, but Hopkins did fold his ass up though. Body shot.
I just have a
question. But that's Hopkins at 160, dog. It's somebody. I
know what you mean. That it's not like I know what you mean. That well, you can't say that because Oscar got folded up by Hopkins that he fragile.
But I'm saying.
I know what you mean, but I'm just saying that he has been dropped though.
No, but I'm saying that just because he got dropped by this certain somebody, that's what I was trying to say. So I don't really want to base it because he can go in there and go 12, and then we're gonna be like, yo, where's that power? That's what I'm saying, because that's my thing. That's what I'm like, because
I heard the Bobby Santos guy, right? And I guess what sparked my curiosity is he said that this guy has 400 amateur fights, and I remember that Sulem told me about the guy that she used to see that guy, when everybody was in the amateurs. She saw him coming through the amateurs. That, yeah, he's a good fighter. And I'm like, damn, 400 amateur fights.
But my question is, and I mean with all due respect, it seems like a lot of times you're noticing that fighters are getting more attention based on pay-per-views and fame than they are on fighting. I mean, if you just look at everything for what it is, he's a 28-year-old fighter that hasn't fought an A-list fighter yet.
And he
Yet
should
people
have,
talk-
and that's the thing that he should have by now because he's fucking 28.
He's 28.
He's coming
He's
up
not
on
young
30.
Bro, but that's the
bro.
problem, Julius. That's the problem. They
Mm.
build him up. He has a fan base. They're gonna support him no matter what. That's what I always bring. And people call me a hater. Example:
No.
he was at 130 with Loma, when that Japanese guy, the one that Corrales beat, when Belcher was a champion. When
Bro,
Vargas-
listen,
Vargas-
Burchelt was there. Burchelt was there. Jezreel was there. Machado was there.
Vargas.
Andrew Concio was there. It was a lot of people there, not just, because
Killers.
everybody only remembers Loma. But I say this all the time. If you would have fought them and not Loma, I could have forgiven that because
We
it was
give you
a
the
lot of
pass.
people there. But you didn't fight
You know why
nobody.
they fought Pedraza, bro? He was weight drained. They knew
I hear
he
a lot of
was
people
struggling
say
to
that.
make weight.
I hear a lot
Nah,
of
bro.
people say that.
Why? How come? And this not. How come with Barrios? He didn't want to say, "Oh, let me go fight Lipinets. Let me go fight Prograis. Let me go fight Josh Taylor." You chose Barrios because he was weight drained as shit, and
Well, of course.
he didn't have.
Oh, yo, can I just say this real quick? This guy is on camera 2 times, right? He's on camera saying, "I never asked for those fights." Remember that?
He admitted it. He admitted
Yeah,
it.
he admitted it.
I've heard him in a. He actually has said that. Yo,
Who
never
Tank
asked
said
him.
that?
Yeah, Tank said that. Tank said
Okay,
Yeah,
that.
well,
Tank
listen,
said that openly on
Hey,
camera.
can I just
Okay,
say this
my
real quick?
question is this: who is the one that's running your career? So when you play victim,
Bro, you
it's
know
your
who it is.
career,
It
man.
was Lenny, bro.
I
It was
don't want to hear you
Lenny.
complain. Then get out of it and
Ring,
be a man
and then
up.
he in another interview
Floyd
he has
and
an
Can I
Lenny.
ask you a question?
Yo, let me go.
Can I ask you a question,
Everybody
Jules?
cool down.
I
I
gotta
hear
finish.
10
I didn't even get to
voices.
finish yet.
I hear 10 voices. Let me
Can
go.
I ask a question?
Go ahead, Shelton.
I want to ask a question now. When he was at 130, you're right? You had Pedraza, you had Burchelt, you had Valdez, you had all those guys down there at 130. But do we not see now in hindsight that maybe Pedraza was better than all of those guys down there?
No, I don't agree with that.
Nah, bro.
No. You know why I don't agree with that? Because boxing is boxing, bro. For example, if we would have looked at Lopez and Kambosos and we say, oh, no, Lopez is way better than Kambosos, the fight showed us that, nah, you ain't too good to get got. You can get got. And that's why I don't hypothesize when it comes to ranks and who's supposed to be ranked ahead of who, because all that stuff, look, I thought Mary Spencer beat the shit out that girl on Friday. I would have swore on a stack of Bibles that she was going to beat the shit out that woman the way she been beating the shit out of everything. And lo and behold, the woman won 1 round.
Wow.
1 out of 10, bro.
Hey, nothing is running in boxing. And
But
remember,
see, that happens. But see, that happens when Femke Hermans wasn't afraid of her.
But all I'm saying is it
been through war and been knocked out. So there was nothing that she brought to the table that Hermans hadn't seen.
I dig that, but all I'm saying is we cannot rate a fighter, which was another topic that I wanted to cover later on, that when it comes to ranks and annotations, that ranks are not subject or should not be subject to annotations and anecdotes. We should not hypothesize or theorize ranks, because what ranks are for is to rank the fighter based on what you've done, not what we think you can do, not that shit, but what have you done? And that pertains to the Frank Martin shit. Now I want to go to unbiased. Unbiased, Hector Garcia, it's a guy, he's got a bald head, but he's got Bruce Wayne eyebrows. Built on his waist, 400 amateur fights, quality scalps in Chris Colbert, in Roger Gutierrez. It's a semi-good scalp. Does he have a chance, in your opinion, against Davis?
He has a chance, but he won't win. He won't be able to effectively keep Tank from landing that shot for 12 rounds. He could even be up on the scorecards. And there were some things that was being said that was hitting home, because in the ring, I really, really like Tank a lot. But it was all facts that was being given. He has not fought an A-class fighter yet. I don't agree that he's not an A-class fighter, because I believe he's an A-class fighter. He just hasn't fought an A-class fighter.
How can you be an A-class fighter if you haven't fought someone of equality to you?
I mean, I guess that's a matter of opinion and a TBD, to be determined. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say this. A-class fighters, right? What makes an A-class fighter an A-class fighter? See, I know that Shakur is an A-class fighter that has not fought an A-class fighter because of how easily he handled a B+. I don't think Oscar Valdez is a bad fighter at all. And I think Oscar could probably wipe his ass with most of 130. But I rate him as a B+. B in my book is not bad. B is good. All right. If you a B, B+ or B-, no, you good. You better than most of what's out there. And most of what we see are actually B-level boxers, but they're not bad. Oscar, to me, is a B to a B+. And Shakur, he handled his ass like he wasn't shit. Why? Because he's an A. He's above that. Levels, right? He's that A level. Oscar's that B level. You see what I mean? So even though Shakur has not fought an A-level fighter yet, I feel that he is an A-level fighter. But how this pertains to Gervonta is, bro, being real, most of what you fought was C's. Yes, C's.
He only fought 2 B. Well, you would probably say he's not a B, because somebody said in the chat said Leo Santa Cruz A class. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a low B. He's a low B. He's a B- to me.
He ain't. There we go. He's a B- to a C+. I know Polo about to have a heart attack. Listen, Polo. I know. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna meet you halfway. There was a time when Leo was a better fighter, but those days have been gone for a long time. Last time I seen Leo on his shit was the Carl Frampton rematch.
That's when was that? 2017.
You think his peak was like a B+? You think he hit a peak B+?
Yeah,
but Leo 4 years
ago, man.
He had a peak B+.
But at 130, and I'm going to say it, at 130, he is not no B+. No, not at 130. Remember, he fought him at 30, right? What did Leo do at 130?
Nothing.
He was a good 126. So I can say that.
He was a really good 122.
He was a good 122. He was a good 126. But at 130, and I ain't even going to say, no matter of fact, he wasn't a good 126. You beat Carl, but that's because Carl beat you. After that, what you did? Not a goddamn motherfucking thing.
Yeah,
you took Gary Russell for 8 years, bro. Duck that man for 8.
Didn't Russell turn down an offer as well?
Oh, come! What offer, bro? I've been following that story closely.
Bro, they both.
All right, what offer? What offer?
Listen. Did he make
he
it
did
up?
the full eye squint. He even used my glasses.
You know what I'm saying?
It
was. Look. This is what I'm gonna say. Leo's best weights. Leo's best weights: 118, 122, 26. He has one good win. One.
Abner Maris was a good win, man.
No.
What's up with your A, bro?
Bro.
I don't think that's hate, though. I have to agree with that.
The first Abner Maris fight was where? The first one.
LA at 126. It was at 126.
No, it was 122, bro.
No, it wasn't. Look it up. It was at 126.
All right. Look
it up,
all right. Abner Maris. Great. That means his best wins was 6 years ago.
Frampton. Yeah, I mean, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Russell and Leo both were in the featherweight division, and we want to be honest because Russell could have fought Warrington. He could have fought them other guys. And
I didn't say he didn't. I'm just saying that you had a champion on your side of the street, which is why I fuck with Charlo. That's why I fuck with Charlo. He had the same opportunity that Leo had. Leo, you ain't want to do that. But Charlo, is belts over here for me? I need those. I need all of that. Right? Leo, you didn't want to know. You didn't. I just fight where they come to fight. I just fight hip pose with your daddy, put his arm on your daddy. Your daddy's sick. You gonna let him do that? I just fight where they come to fight. He's on the. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, bro, this dude is not Mexican. You from Ecuador or some shit. You're not Mexican, bro. Nah, I don't believe that shit. You're not Mexican. Nah, no, you not. You Guatemalan. You some other shit. You're not Mexican, bro. Get out. Get out here with that shit. So I don't really feel that Leo was a great featherweight. You got 2 good wins. I dig it. But that was 6 years ago. And I know at 30 you didn't do shit.
But that's
so
the same
to
concept
me,
with Danny Garcia. It's basically Danny Garcia revisited.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question here?
Look.
Yeah, but how high was Danny
Remix.
at 140?
Forget. All right. So I'm going to say the Leo that Gervonta fought, that was a C+ fighter, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can I ask this question though? Like, why doesn't Tank, being that he has been proven somewhat as a super featherweight, why doesn't he come back down to 130 and fight Hector?
Because he doesn't want to make the weight. He doesn't live like a fighter.
Yo,
I mean, like, we know that. Like, we know that. Like, y'all see, he's shaped like a loaf of bread in between fights, bro.
Bro, I seen him on his Instagram lives, bro. He ate a whole bag of Doritos in one sitting.
Yo, bro, we was just
bread.
goofing on fucking Errol Spence's weight, man. Like, I started calling him Egg Roll Spence.
Yo, that gut was real. That made me wonder, like, what was really going on? Because it's only been a month and a half since the fight was supposed to happen. So how are you looking like you about 15, 20 pounds out of shape?
No, it wasn't. That's the point that I raised. That I like, because I had fun with some pictures on Twitter, and I did fuck with them. But
I saw that.
You got some people mad about that.
I saw that. That was dirty.
They mad.
Yeah, Martin with the droopy eye.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
That was dirty.
Somebody said that Leo was Danny Garcia remastered.
But the one I used in the relay, the one that I used in the relay, that's not doctored, all right? He looked chubby like that. That wasn't doctored. I didn't do nothing to that. He looked chubby from the side. I didn't do nothing to that. And all I'm saying is, bro, if you was either training for a fight in the fall or a fight in February, which is really only a couple of weeks, if you think about it in terms of weeks, February is not that far away. We already in the middle of December. It's only 4 weeks in January. So if you was going to fight in February, right, 6 days ago, remember, 6 days he got in a car accident. But you should have still been in shape, because if the accident is the reason that the fight got called off, well, why you fat? You should still be like slimmer and all of that, because the accident was 6 days from Saturday. So
what that tells me though is that what you've been saying, at least what's rumored, that the fight with Thurman is going to be in the summer. This dude is just taking the sweet ass time, and that's what you get with fighters that are fighting once a year.
I don't even want to talk about Spence. Can we let's
change the subject.
I mean, the only thing I'm gonna talk about is the hate for Bud Crawford, but Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, I feel like I'm done with any video on that. It's a waste of oxygen at this point.
Hey, Jules,
it is.
I really think that Garcia is gonna go similar with like the Rolly fight. I think he's gonna give Tank some problems. It may go a little longer than expected. Because he keeps his head on the center line and backs up in a straight line, he's gonna give Tank that opportunity sometime during the fight to land that counter. And once he does, he's going out.
I mean.
That's the thing, and
it's going to be like Barrios.
He's not going to be able to get out of the way of that counter, and he's going to make a mistake at some point.
It's going to be like Barrios. It's going to be like Barrios. It's going to be like the Barrios.
Look, this is the thing. If he has a better jab, or if he can show a better jab, because there's that X factor that when a fighter fights in a big fight, they step up their game. And if he can show a better jab and a more consistent jab than Rolly, then yeah, he could probably give Davis some problems. It's just that everything I've seen of Hector is mid-range to inside, and he's aggressive. You want to throw it. Well, I'm like, if you're going to do that, you're going to get counted, bro. That's not.
But the only thing is, though, how are we going to compare him to Rolly when Rolly is his size was what allowed him to be able to have early round wins. But he's not going to have that size over Tank.
I'm not.
Hector is taller though. Like, he's not as burly as Rolly. Like, he's not burly like Rolly. But I seen the face off. He's taller than Gervonta, bro.
I mean, but that ain't hard to be taller than Gervonta. And Gervonta 5'1.5". I mean, I'm just joking, but
wait. I'm not necessarily comparing him exactly to Rolly, but I just think the fight will go similar. Is what I'm
you're
saying.
just saying he'll win early rounds, but then he gonna make that mistake and he gonna pay the consequences.
Yeah,
with his team.
exactly.
Barrios is
And
winning.
it might go a little longer than Rolly.
I was thinking it's gonna be like a Barrio type fight, but this is why I think Tank is A class in abilities, and it's because he's such a smaller guy, but he is still patient and still can box well, and is patient enough to capitalize on your mistake.
That is true. Yo, Julius, I was gonna say something. If Hector wins, bro, you better put him as your profile, man, and be waving that flag.
And you can never call him Garcia. His name will be Garcia.
Listen.
To be honest, bro.
No, I don't violate Hector. I fuck with Hector. I'm just saying. I fuck with him. I fuck with him just because, he doing some real shit. But I've watched him, and I'm like, bro, I don't see a guy that Davis can't deal with. He could deal with him because you mad aggressive. You better not. You gonna get counted, bro. You got to stay long and loose for Gervonta. Stay behind your jab. Make him come forward so you set him up for the backhand. Because if you step into your jab and you want to be in the pocket with him, he gonna counter you, bro. He good at that. So you gotta
be patient. You gotta be offensively patient.
Yeah,
persistent but patient.
It's poise. And my man Ramirez-Prograis that dude is so relaxed. In the middle of a fight, you'd have thought he was in his fucking living room. He's so relaxed.
He's calm. Julius, I was about to ask you, do you really think the other Garcia has a chance versus Tank? Because after what I've seen, no, the Latinx, you
talking about Chica Garcia?
Yeah, I don't need a tune-up. To be honest, bro, I don't know. They're fooling people because I honestly think he's gonna get hurt in that fight, and I think they're just gonna make that excuse that he lost to another great fighter. I'm not buying the hype.
I mean, look,
obviously it's a big fight.
Look, I'm not sold on nothing. Listen, Polo, I'm not sold on nothing. Before I pass it to Shelton, I'm not sold on nothing. I always say I see how he can win if you stay long and loose, use your height, use the jab, take a half step back, and don't bend your arm. Don't throw no hooks. Forget all that. Let him come to you because he's short. He has to lunge in order to touch you with punches. If you keep it long and loose and from the outside, that's your best bet. Tack on that Ryan is very fast. That you got a fast jab, you got a fast left hook, you got fast reflexes. If you put that all together, no, I see how he could win. That don't mean he gonna win, but I can see how he would win.
No. Here's my thing, bro. Instead of fighting he could have fought southpaws to get him. He could have fought JoJo. He could have fought guys will get him.
Bro, he has been fighting southpaws, bro. Luke Campbell's a southpaw. Fortuna's a southpaw.
2 years ago, but Fortuna, look at the conditions that he came. I don't know. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see a guy.
You know what's so crazy? I can see Ryan winning the fight in the 11th round and making one mistake
and getting caught.
Yeah. Because he's still defensively deficient at times. And he's lucky that Tank's not taller because Tank can take advantage of it earlier in the fight. But because he's short, it's going to take him time to get there. And, I mean, if Ryan stays patient and defensively responsible, he can pull out the victory. Simple as that.
That's what I thought, but I just don't think he got the. I know this is I don't think when it gets tough, bro, I see him folding. What I mean, if the fight gets to when he faces adversity, I do see him taking the knee or quitting, bro. I just don't see that I'm sorry.
Look, this is the thing. You can't expect that Ryan unless Ryan is just a complete dickhead. Remember who his trainer is. His trainer is Joe Goosen. So the plan ain't gonna be, we just gonna go in there and bomb him. No, that's not the plan. Because Joe Goosen is not no dummy. We keep it long and loose and we stay behind the jab. It's up to Ryan to make a mistake because as long as you follow that game plan with your height, your length, and your speed, you should win the fight.
That combined with the fact that Ryan's also been fighting how many southpaws lately?
Yeah, he's been fighting southpaws. So
he's conditioning himself for this fight.
Yeah, but you know what though? He has to have his overall ring generalship increase because that's one of the things that I've noticed about him in the ring is he doesn't have full command. He's got the talent and he has the ability, but he doesn't always have full command in the ring. Just doing basic shit like cutting
he
a
didn't
fighter
command
off.
Shit with To Go. I'll tell you that shit. With To Go, he looked dreadful. And that was just because To-Go was moving. That's it. That's all he was doing. Was moving.
He can't stop himself from pulling out of fights, man. He's pulling out of tune-up fights now.
That's what I was telling you, bro.
Well, I hope he's on some roids. I hope he's taking some steroids.
You gotta cycle off,
me
man.
too. Yo, Ring. Like I said, bro, I seen his movie.
He does look big as shit.
They want the people to think it's 50-50. He goes in there, gets knocked out. End of story. I'm just saying, I could see that happening as well. Where everybody's buying the hype.
See either one happening. I hope they knock each other out. I love it. I hope they both knock each other out.
That would be the best
I'm
case
done.
scenario. If they both knock each other conscious and put them in a coma
Right.
for 6 months.
Bro, I just don't like
Fantastic. That'd be fantastic. Now I'm gonna go to Shelton. Shelton, this past weekend, Errol Spence Jr. is unbeaten up and coming Frank Martin. He was opposite the ring, my countryman, Michelle Rivera, who looked more like Julian Jackson than Muhammad Ali. And you know, he did his thing. But where do you rank him? You know, where are you supposed to rank him with the Devin Haney's and Shakur Stevenson's and Lomachenko's of the world? Michelle Rivera ain't beat nobody.
No, he didn't. But Frank showed footwork. He showed a nice jab. He showed body punching. He showed ring IQ. He showed aggressiveness. Frank is a good fighter. Now, if you're trying to tell me that, yes. If you're trying to tell me that, he beats Haney or he beats Shakur or he beats Loma, I think those are all good fights, and I think he has a chance to win. I mean, these guys are good, but they're not. I mean, for me, I'm just speaking for myself. I never bought into the great on any of those guys. I can't say Haney's great, even though he's undisputed, because he ain't really fought nobody. I can't say
you can't say that. Shelton. You can't say that. If we gonna sit here, no. If we gonna sit here and act like Al beat Julian Jackson is a somebody, then JoJo Diaz.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I have a question. So
hold on. Let me finish. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I can't call any of those guys at 135 great. Even Haney.
But Loma did show that. Loma has shown that he is.
Loma's been showing he's great.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
because
competition
is great. No,
bro,
because
bro, look at that.
He's great against the competition that's there. None of the competition is great.
No, Shelton, you know what it is? The reason I'm gonna tell you why. Because I never had him at number one. I never did. You could look at it.
He was top five. He wasn't one.
But I never had him at number one. That's all I'm saying. All right. And I'm saying he's great because, to some, he's a featherweight, bro. That man is not no lightweight. He is a featherweight.
He's at his max.
Yo, look at his shoulders is like this. He's not
He's a little dude. He's really like a 122, man. He's a little dude.
Who are you talking
He's
about?
at his max.
Yo, look, if you
bro.
Who got a suit? Who wears suits? I wear suits. Who wears suits? All right, you could fit Loma in your breast pocket.
I wear suits.
Throw him out. And he'll start doing their shit.
He's a small ass dude. He'll fuck you
Hey,
up.
before I go, because I'm about to get a call from my bro, I just wanted to say this, guys. Frank Martin did a great job. He actually cleared up some of his deficiencies as well, and he's put himself in the contender status. That's the bottom line for him. But the fact of the matter is, Michelle Rivera was one freaking dimensional. He did throw no left hands. He never pivoted to his left. He only was going to his right. He never had any changes. So he had the Ali look, but he was Leah. He was L-I-A. He wasn't Ali. He was the backwards spelling of Ali.
Like Julian Jackson, he don't look like Cassie. He don't look like Cassius.
He didn't.
Julius, I was gonna say, why do we say Rivera was a nobody? We can't really say that.
I didn't say he was a nobody. No. I didn't say he was a nobody. He just did. He just
doing Polo. Nobody called him a nobody. I said he didn't beat nobody. Who he beat?
Oh, okay, but what do you mean? I mean, bro, look at some of the wins. So you don't think Adorno was a somebody?
No, I don't think he's a somebody.
Polo.
We're not somebody. What he did at lightweight?
Can you?
Has he even beat a former champion? Has
Didn't Adorno just get beat again?
Yo, didn't Adorno?
Let me say one.
Let me go. Didn't Adorno? Guy that he beat the shit out of Ortiz just gave Lomachenko hell, the same one that Adorno should have got the nod over. that he almost actually stopped if it wasn't for the referee. I mean, bro,
Well,
like
if you
Rivera beat some niggas.
this is the problem. This is the problem when you got to reach that far. You're doing 3 degrees of Joseph Adorno. That's basically what you're doing, like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You're doing 3 degrees of Joseph Adorno.
Like I said,
And no, let me finish. And if I got to play 3 degrees of Joseph Adorno so that Michelle Rivera could feel like he beat someone, all I got to say is you do realize Lomachenko hadn't fought in a year, right? That's more important to me.
Okay,
That's more important to me. That's ring rust. Like motherfuckers act like ring rust is not some real shit. That's some real shit, bro.
Yeah,
we'll see
you know
what
what though?
happens down the
Honestly, let me say one
Ain't
thing.
he getting
here.
old?
Let me say one thing. Let me say one thing here, though. Both Rivera and Martin, as far as I'm concerned, are still a little bit above prospects, but they're still very early. They're not very much, far along. So neither one of them should really be rushed.
And that's what
I'm gonna say is this too. The other thing I'm gonna say is this too. Don't talk about Jermaine Ortiz like that because he fought a former champion. Who Michelle Rivera fought?
He fights sleep every once in a while.
He fought
a former champion in Jamel Herring, and he gave Lomachenko hell. And granted that Lomachenko was coming off of a long layoff, well, not a long layoff, but a year layoff, which is long. That's a long time to not fight. And all I'm saying is, Michelle, who you beat?
Yeah.
And then,
I just want to say
but
this.
regardless of who he beat and didn't beat, the fact that he had no plan B really is just.
Look one side. I mean, bro, be honest, who are we picking before that? People thought it was 50-50 before going in.
Bro,
I thought Rivera was going to win the fight.
See, you doing the thing, Polo, and it's not about Rivera and Martin no more. That's them two. Now it's about, okay, where are you compared to Devin? Where are you compared to Loma? Where are you compared to George? Because you know what the difference between them? The difference between them. The difference.
Champions.
Hold on. The difference between them and him is they have mixed it up with guys in the top 10. They have all of them, every single one of them. Devin got names. Like, I don't know why people act like he didn't fight nobody. He beat Jojo Diaz. He beat Jorge Linares. He beat Abdulaev. He beat fucking George Kambosos 2 times and made it look easy. George, he beat Lee Selby. He beat Teofimo Lopez. Lomachenko, he done been there and done that with Luke Campbell. Been there and done that with Jorge Linares. He beat a couple of somebodies. He beat Pedraza there. He beat a couple of somebodies. Okay, it's your turn, Frank. Who you fought?
You got Rivera.
He's about to fight somebody in his next fight. I think it's his time for him to now get there. He's now arrived, and now we finna see what was really good. And the fact that he cleared up some of his deficiencies, I feel like I'm not going to rush him, but I'm not going to have him slow walked in there. It's time for him to fight the top 10. Stay fighting top 10 contenders.
You know what makes sense now? Okay, you fought in a battle of the unbeatens. They do this in the UK all the time. And the next phase is for you to fight a world title challenger. Now, them guys that's over there with you, none of them have challenged for a world title. They challenged for a baby belt. But we'll go with that. What makes sense?
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with the whole argument, right? It's just that in this era, I'm not speaking on any particular. I'm just speaking on this whole era. Just, for me being older, none of these guys are great because there's not any great competition. Yeah. All these guys are basically 1A, 1 and 1A. They're all like right there. I mean,
it's great competition.
I would say Shakur.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what, Sheldon. I'm gonna disagree because of this. There great? Let me say this. There's great competition out there. If I look at lightweight as a whole and I remove the political boundary lines, let's just remove all of that, right? Floyd Schofield, that kid is built like a tank.
Yeah, he can
strong, fast, sharp, big,
switch fighter too. He can fight orthodox and southpaw.
He's a bad motherfucker, that kid. Floyd Schofield, William Zepeda broke the fucking record for punches thrown at lightweight, right? Let me keep going. Schofield, Zepeda, Cruz. I'm gonna throw Rolly in there just for a bonus.
Nah, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Rolly and shit. Motherfucking Devin. Motherfucking Loma. Motherfucking
Jermaine Ortiz.
Jermaine Ortiz.
I think Jermaine Ortiz is fighting Shakur next. I got a feeling.
Isaac Cruz. And wait, let's add. No, I'm saying if it wasn't no belt, wait. If they just go and fight, all the lines is gone. That's great competition.
Okay. Yeah.
That is great competition.
You're right. I agree. You're right. But I can't go with the Isaac Cruz because that guy's famous for losing. That's the only reason why we even talk about him, because he lost.
That is true.
Right. Man, can I just say this real quick about Michel Rivera? Look, man, for any supporter or anyone that feels sympathetic for him losing and him being called a hype job, listen clearly, man. If you're gonna take the namesake of the greatest of all time, if you're gonna look like a former world champion, a Puerto Rican, and a U.S. Virgin Island world champion, you're gonna be judged a little bit more intensely. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
don't think this as shade.
The guy got a bad fight. He just ran into a better fighter.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Look, I don't think
I didn't say nothing bad about Michel Rivera. The only thing I said was, and I seen a couple of people get mad. Like I had to tell a dude.
Not you exactly, but like
no. I'm just addressing it. That I seen the butt hurt. I seen Al Bernstein get into it with Steve Kim over this.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that tweet too. That was hilarious.
You are kidding me, Julius. You are kidding me.
Coach Bella called him a hype job, by the way.
All I said was, okay, now can we give him a haircut and stop calling him Ali? That's all I said, because I'm sick of this gimmick, bro. You don't even look like Ali.
How do you do that
just
for your
gimmick.
whole career?
You don't even look like Ali. Like you don't look like Ali, bro.
Michel Rivera should learn from this fight because he has to learn from this fight.
He looked like Felix Trinidad in No Shave November or some shit. Like you don't look like
anybody, Julius. Anybody who ever compared that man to Muhammad Ali I don't know what you're looking at.
I just hope he learns from this fight.
Like Julian Jackson more than Ali. You don't look like Ali.
If you
looks like Felix Trinidad in the face too.
I just hope he learns from this fight, because the thing is that worried me the most is the one-dimensional and the lack of having a plan B, and then his corner as well didn't do him any favors. So
they said that he was struggling.
They knew what they were looking at. They said, "Look, you got to knock this guy out after round 5." They knew that guy wasn't athletic enough to compete. Only way you gonna win this fight, you got to knock this guy out.
Listen, bro. I think, and I'm not making excuses for him neither, because I don't think it's an excuse. When you enter that ring, you assume the responsibility of whatever happens, so it's not an excuse. I'm saying that kid need to move up. You're too big. Y'all do it. You're too big. Gotta move up. Because the fighter I see, it wasn't no snap. It wasn't no snap on his jab. It wasn't no sharpness. He couldn't even get off the 1-2 right. He was just.
We didn't even get to see an Ali shuffle.
No. Can I at least get an Ali Harlem shake at least?
Can we agree that kid got out athleted in that fight?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. That Frank was sharper, faster, smarter. He was smarter.
He spent him like 12 times.
He has fast feet, that Frank guy.
And Frank, the thing I see is, look, Frank is not a big guy. So the bell tolls for thee if you ever go to 40. They're gonna mess you up there. You right there with Teofimo. See, you good for 35. You good. If you ever go to 40, they'll fuck you up there real fucking fast. Fast.
So,
he little.
Yo,
he
Julius,
is little.
I was gonna ask you. Julius, I was gonna say, Michel Rivera just fought on October 15th. Isn't that strange that they threw him in there in December? Like, I think that's kind of like, man, if I was him, I would have been, you know what? See you in March. Like, he fought on October 15th. Like,
what I've been saying, why they using my countrymen? You know why they using my countrymen? Cheap labor. Another fighter? No, I'm not taking that fucking fight in December, bro. I just fought. Fuck is you talking about? Like, I'm not taking that fight in December, bro. We could do it in January or February. You know what I mean? They
And
got
he got dropped. And he got dropped in the previous fight. Got up and knocked the guy out. So he took a little damage.
I personally feel fighters should be fighting more in the first place. So you're not gonna get me to be get up in arms about that. I think fighters should be fighting 3 times a year.
Look, I think they should be fighting 3 times a year, but 2 of them fights, they have to be easy ones. If we gonna go back to the way that it was, well, when I was young, that is the way that it was. 2 of them might be easy ones, and 1 of them shits might be major, or 2 of them might be major, and in the middle would be an easy one.
Yo, Julius, and I was gonna say, I just feel like, man, he should have just waited, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't think a loss should hurt him. I think he's good. I think he'll be back. But I was gonna say, damn, why did he bro? Wasn't he an eliminator like a year ago? And how come he never got that Tank fight? That kind of threw me off. Like, bro, I thought he was legit next. Like, and it seemed like
look, man, you already know the answer to that question, bro.
You know why you never got
what
the
it
Tank
is. Hold up, come on, man.
Yeah, like you already know the answer to that question, bro. If he looked all right last year, that's why they ain't let him fight last year, bro. Fuck, that's
he's too good. We gotta keep him. We gotta put him on the shelf for a year. He's too good.
For real, like if he looked all right last year, that's why they ain't fight last year.
But he was looking good. I'm telling you. And I was gonna say, do you think he moves up or you think he stays, or what do you think?
No, I think he'll move up. I think he'll move up, and I think that because he lost. Like a fight that makes sense to me, is Rolando Romero versus Michelle, not Ali Rivera. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You will see.
I do not want to see Martin versus Rolly.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Only a good fight because he's gonna talk trash. That's the only reason why you saying you're interested in it. If we going by skill set, it's not a good
he's
fight.
Gonna beat Rolly's ass. He's gonna beat Rolly's ass. I think he'll beat Rolly.
But I don't. We know that though.
No, but
this is the reality. This is the reality. Rolly is not retired. They're still gonna use him for fights. That's reality. And I'm like, look,
piece is great
for real. But it is. He can talk his retard shit, and he's coming off a loss. Rivera's coming off a loss. It makes sense.
Julius, how would you think?
And we need Rolly to get humble because Rolly's feeling himself right now.
Yo, Julius, how do you think a William Zepeda versus Ali fight would have gone?
Zepeda would beat him. Too much volume. You don't have no inside game. We saw that with Frank.
The same way the JoJo fight went. The same way the JoJo fight went.
Yeah,
but
literally.
I just talking about. Didn't Rolly say he's not moving back down? He's staying at 140, 147.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. That if Rivera gonna move up, he's not gonna go back. He's not gonna stay at 35. He's gonna move up.
Okay.
And Rolly not coming back down to 35. So,
yeah, but I think Rolly won't nothing but a pay-per-view type fight because he done sold himself.
Yeah, but they're not going. But he not that though. Like really though. Like you would have to be crazy to put him
pay-per-view against who?
Exactly. Against who? 2 guys coming off a loss on paper. Like, well, you know what?
Stop with the pay-per-view. I'm tired of that shit, man.
That would be a PBC move.
Let me read the super chat. Well, what the hell is Jose Ramirez thinking? 35% is a pretty reasonable percentage for a pro-grade fight. What he's thinking is, and I'm gonna save it for the relay. But what he's thinking is, look, the location that they would do that fight is in Ramirez's neck of the woods because he sells tickets. That's just the truth. And what he's thinking is, well, I ain't going to sell all these tickets just so that I get 35. I want more than that. I'm not telling you it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's what he's thinking. That I'm going to be the one to sell all the tickets, not you. You might have a belt, but I'm the one that's going to bring all the money because these people want to support me. That's what he's thinking. That's what he
And I need to get paid for this ass whooping I'm finna get.
Yeah, because he'll lose that shit, man.
He'll get knocked out.
He ain't about to take that beating for 35. He gets beat like a drum in that fight, bro. Like a drum.
What about 40? What about 40? You think you take it for 40?
I think 40 to 45 would have made more sense. See, this is the thing. This is the thing that Regis might be fucking up at. They're both fucking up to me, but this is where Regis might be fucking up. I need to knock a guy out on ESPN, man. I need to knock a guy out on the biggest sports network in the country.
Speak on it, Julius. Speak on it.
I need to knock this guy out. So I got to play ball because if I don't take this fight, what am I going to get? What's my alternative to knocking out Ramirez? I know I could beat him. Ramirez been running. He been running from Regis, bro. Since 2018, he been running from Regis. But if he with the shit now, yo, take that hit. Like, you know what? I'll meet you halfway, bro. Let's do 50-50. Why not? Let's do, just to get you in the ring. Let's do 50-50. I knock you out, and then let me see if I can't work something else out with Bob. Maybe I could get this Taylor fight on because I need this. Regis need this more than Jose.
And honestly, that's the fight he wants. He wants that Taylor rematch. That's what he wants.
And that's what he should have had in mind.
He needs that redemption.
Now, you could do the bullshit. Go to Black Prom, see if they don't give you $2 million to fight Broner next year, because Broner talking about, I'm going to fight Prograis. That's what he's saying. That is what he's saying. But
AB, come on, man.
That's what
we want to remember you. We want to remember you. Don't do that.
But you know what? AB ain't gonna get knocked down. You just get beat up for 12 rounds and throw 15 punches.
No. Regis will knock his ass out. Regis will knock him out.
I don't think AB's not gonna. AB will finish his career never being knocked out. AB tough, man. He know how to survive.
Regis don't knock his ass out.
I guarantee if they fight, we put money on it. We put money on it. If they fight, I guarantee you he loses, but he will not get knocked out.
Okay, we right here on the channel. We on the channel. So if they make that fight,
hold on. Boxing Jim says that Rivera is Tito Trinidad and Layla Ali's baby. I can see that.
Oh wow! Why are you going there with my girl, man? Don't do that with my woman, man. Don't do that.
But he could be that. He could be like Cassius.
Boxing gyms be acting up, man. Boxing gyms be acting up.
He could be Cassius Ali, Cassius Layla. I'm with Shelton on this. Today's Broner. You got to understand that this is today's Broner. This is not the Broner that has anything. He don't have nothing, bro. He looked terrible with Giovanni Santiago, and that's the last time I saw him. All right. If you in there with Regis. Yeah, Regis gonna take you out. He takes him out, but that's what Regis is saying. And Black Prom, they about to do a couple of shows, at least the look of it. They about to do a couple of shows in the coming year. Regis is not tied down to nobody platform, so he could go where the money at. And if they tell him, well, look, we got $2 million for you. You know what I mean? He'll go over there, bro. He'll go over there.
You think? Can I get your take on this? Can I get your take on this, Julius?
Yeah.
Well, now we know that Virgil done went the WBA route, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means after my man Ennis dispatches of Karen rather quickly on the 7th, rather quickly, he will probably be number 1 in the WBO. Am I close? Am I cool?
No, because the Karen Chukatsian fight, right? That's an IBF interim joint. And unless I'm mistaken, because of the interim status, I don't know if he will be ranked by the WBO. I don't know.
So he'll be considered a champion. He'll be considered a champion, is what you're saying.
All sanctioning bodies. He will get dropped from all sanctioning bodies.
Yeah.
He'll be considered a champion. Okay.
I see where it's at, but see, this is the thing. Look, Ennis is saying what he's saying, and that's cool, but I'm not with that shit, bro. No. Cameron Duncan has you fighting an IBF eliminators. Why? Who's IBF champion?
Spence, who you ain't gonna get.
But you see what I'm getting at there. If you wanted Bud, you would be on the phone with Paco. You would be on the phone with Paco. Yo, can I fight in the WBO eliminator? All the eliminators you've been in is IBF.
And he got a mandatory in May. So what's the problem?
Bro, look,
raise your hand and say you want to fight. You said you will fight that man in his living room. Well, here's your chance.
Here's your chance. I'm going to say it. People don't want to say it because they don't even want to start up with him. But I'm going to be the one to say that it's cap, bro. And it's cap, bro. All that shit is cap.
Julius, he made this shit up with that apparently him and Stanhinos were going to fight. They were never going to fight. That shit was never offered on the table.
Bro, him and what's his dad name? Boozy,
yeah.
It's full of shit.
It's cap, bro. Like on some because look, if you wanted Bud the way that you're not moving like somebody who is after Bud, and the other shit is it's cool and cute that you bring him up in interviews. But if Bud offered you the bread that they offered Ebenezer, you go to Black Prime? No, you don't go to Black Prime. Why? You under contract with Showtime. Motherfuckers acting like they don't know that. Like, yo, he can't.
Exactly. Why he didn't call me for the fight? Because you can't take it, dummy.
You can't
Because you
take
can't
it,
take
bro.
it.
Yo, Julius, some girl on Twitter tried to tell me that Virgil would be the mandatory at Crawford. I'm like, are you fucking trolling me? Like, do you not see the play? Like, he's gonna get his regular, and then his Spence.
Wanda wants to challenge me. All right, let's go, Wanda. Let's get this money, Wanda. Jump on the chitty chat. It's one slot there. Don't nobody else fill it. That slot is for Wanda.
Julius,
challenge me.
I have a question.
I hate to say this, bro. I really do, because I like both those fighters. But Virgil don't want it.
Bro.
And Boots don't want it.
Hold on, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
If I'm not mistaken, Stanionis was supposed to fight for the WBA.
Yes, he was.
Right? If I'm not mistaken, it's not just Virgil Ortiz. It was also Butaev. That because he was supposed to fight Ugas, right? And then they threw him Butaev like a eliminator. I thought he was a mandatory at that time.
Yeah, he was though, Leo. He was last year.
That was an eliminator.
So those guys.
No, listen. Let me break it down, Leo. Before he fought Butaev, he was mandatory.
What you are telling me is those guys not only threw him one guy in Butaev, despite he was the mandatory, he threw him another guy in Virgil Ortiz.
Yes, bro. Yo, look, I posted it on my God. Last year, the WBA ordered Ugas to fight him. He was already mandatory. Ugas wrote a 10-page essay on Twitter. Twitter don't even let you use that many characters. I don't know how he did that. He goes down. Bro, they based out of Panama. He went to Panama like Gilberto. No, I want to fight Spence because they ordered that fight, and then they got Stanionis to step aside. Like, okay, you'll get the winner. In the meantime, you fight Butaev, which we all know wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, bro. Butaev threw a lot of punches, and they fucked him again because motherfucking this the shit. I read it in a recent article that TGB Promotions asked the WBA to allow Spence to circumvent Stanionis for Thurman. The PBC themselves did that, bro. Tom Brown himself did that, bro. He at the convention, at the WBA convention that just concluded, Tom Brown petitioned the WBA, yo, can we skip him? Because we want Errol to fight Thurman. That happened, bro.
My question is, why they hate the Stanionis so much?
No, man. I mean, it could be a number of things, bro. One, he doesn't have much of a profile. Two, maybe they feel he's more trouble than he's worth, that he'll give Errol, even if Errol wins, he still ends up in a semi-hard fight. It could be a lot of different things, man. What happened to Wanda? I thought I was supposed to get the smoke. What happened to Wanda?
Wanda's a troll.
All right, well, don't
say
Wanda
looking ass.
Yeah, I mean,
Wanda Maximum.
Hey, Wanda.
Napoli says, I have a feeling that Hector Garcia has a chance against Tank because he has Ismael Salas. I'm gonna tell you what, Napoli, he not with Ismael no more. His trainer is a guy named Bobby Santos. That's his trainer now. He was with Salas, up until the Colbert fight. Up until the Colbert fight, he was with Salas. But now his trainer is Bobby Santos. Make of that what you will. But he not with Salas no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna front. If he was still with Salas, I might have put something on his ass. Salas is the professor. But, yeah, I mean, look, I just see an aggressive guy in Hector. I don't like his chances, but if he shocks the world, hey, more power to him. That's 2 upsets. What happened to Wanda Wakanda?
I don't know, but Evo Dave's in the audience. Come on, Dave.
Yo,
jump on, brother.
that's their name.
They Wanda Wakanda.
What's so funny is she started off. I read her first message. First message said, "Jules, why is it that anytime anybody disagrees with you, they have to be a PBC fan?" That's the first thing she said. And then she said that if she came on the chat, she was going to show her face live, so she wasn't shown as a troll. So,
all right, look, I'm gonna say, look, Wanda Wakanda says, "I'm tired of these guys running from my boxing knowledge. IQ scared to spar with me, bro. I just sent you a link, bro.
tell
What
her
you
to
talking about?
Tell her to get her ass in the ring. Let's go.
Word. And I will do face chat so you don't think I'm a fake account. Go ahead. I just posted the link, bro. I'm waiting.
We legitimately stopped the show so you can get in. So let's go.
For real. Shit. Here's another one. Fuck, you on the wrong channel talking that spicy shit.
She was trolling the whole time, dude. She's been making off comments. I told her if she doesn't, why is she on the channel? Then go to her best source. You know?
Yeah, for real. Like shit, jump on. Like imagine me ducking smoke from Wanda Wakanda. Fuck out of here.
Wanda, look at that.
You know I'm sitting in that now. That's a boxing ego burner account. Probably is. But yeah, yo, look, man.
Fuck boxing.
You know, all right, is that Wanda? No, that's Dave. That's Avo Dave. That's not Wanda Wakanda.
You guys remember when Ego started crying like on live after Wilder got beat? That was
I was watching that shit. That shit was funny. Hey, Julius. Oh no, here goes Wilder's down. Oh, Fury looks like he's.
Bruh. I mean, I think that for him, look, I think that for him, he experienced watching Wilder catch that fade, what I experienced watching Roy get slid under the ring. You know, that was the equivalent.
To be honest, Julius, as a boxing fan, I'd rather see my guy lose a UD than get knocked the fuck out like that. I'm talking about where like the man's literally beating the shit out of him, dropping him, trolling him. Like, bro, I never want to
imagine how I felt during AJ versus Ruiz.
Shit.
Yo, bro.
Hey,
yo.
Midwest.
God,
bro. Midwest, tell Julius I called that. Tell him in our chat that I said, yo, Reese's gonna win, bro. Like he's so fast. It's
bro,
like
I wasn't talking to Polo. You lying because I was not talking to
he
I'm
talking
talking
to me.
about Midwest.
He told me
No,
that.
Midwest. I told him.
Oh, Midwest. Oh, I.
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
legitimately, when I met Antonio Tarver, he was out at the fight at the Bud fight. I told him, I said, man, why you have to do my man like that? Why you got to do Roy like that, man? Why you got to knock out Roy Jones? Why you got to slit him under the ring?
What did he say when he said that?
He just looked at me, man. I said, I'm trying to get paid. I'm like, all right, I can't get mad at you. I said, but you broke my heart doing that, man.
Broke my fucking heart, man. The magic,
but Midwest. I remember also. I mean, AJ got his lick, but I told people, man, AJ's about to beat Reese pretty. And then people are like, "Oh, you a fucking seller, you bad luck." I'm like, "Nah, bro. It's just AJ was gonna turn it up, and he did." So I mean, at least he got his lick back, though. Wilder didn't get his lick back. Wilder got a worse beating in the third fight.
I mean, look, as it stands, you know, if you know your boxing, you know that there's the list of two-time heavyweight champions is a very short list. A lot of guys, once they lose the heavyweight title, they don't get it back. And we're not talking about Fury, like if you left, and not like that. Like when you lose it, it's a lot of guys, they don't get it. Like, that's just virtuoso, man. Where is Wanda Wakanda?
She gone. Or she, whatever. They're gone, man.
Whatever, man. You don't want no, yo, Wanda, I know you listening.
Let's move on.
No. You ass. You don't want no problems, B. You scared to death. Terrified. You better not click. Listen. The smartest shit you did tonight is not click that link. It's the smartest shit. Pat yourself on the back. It's the smartest shit.
I see you have a minor in psychology, huh? Using the old reverse treatment, huh?
No, I'm giving them their flowers because I would have cooked. You think I wasn't gonna cook? I was gonna cook. And I ain't cooked like that in a minute neither because I haven't had to.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an alias for Mr. PBC and she works hard.
Bro, that's you know that's probably that Kevin guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
That's probably that's a guy. Bro.
That's
guy, bro.
That's Dirk.
Yo, Julius, I was gonna say I saw you going on with that. I think Fury fan, and I got because I said about AJ's resume, like, bro. hate it or not, AJ do got the best resume, and he was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
bro, like
like
we just gotta give it to like." I don't know what's that hard to understand. Like, bro, Povetkin, Parker,
because
Wiley,
I'm
fucking
telling you that
Usyk, bro, these are some of
a lot of Fury fans see peep the bullshit, right? He tried to use Ring Magazine ranks to say that Wilder was number 2 at the time that Fury fought him. And then when I turn around and show him, you know who Ring Magazine ranks as the dude now, right? The same Ring Magazine that you tried to use. They rank Usyk above Fury. And then he just like, you stop making, well, who would win if they, bro, I ain't say all that. All I'm saying is they rank Usyk above Fury. Usyk is the man. That's the truth. They rank him above Fury.
So
don't use Ring Magazine to say, oh yeah, Wilder's special. Don't use them for that. And then when I tell you, well, you know that Usyk, Ring, that same Ring you told
you know that Ring Magazine has to rate Wilder higher than AJ just to sell magazines, right?
Yeah. That's Shelby.
Just like Robert
Wanda.
pound for pound.
I ain't, and now it ain't no slots for Wanda Wakanda because Wanda Wakanda.
Well, anytime
Is she
she
still
wants,
there? If she's still there, I'll drop off. I want to hear what she got to say.
No. She whoever that was, they gone. They gone, man. They
That
gone.
was Kevin. That was Kevin Sanchez.
So this is slightly off topic from the current thing, but I'm happy I made a Twitter just so I could see Jules post that picture of Errol Spence. Funniest shit I ever seen in my damn life.
That's that girl Spence, man.
Bro, I swear to God,
he was straight up looking like Pillsbury in effect, man.
Bro,
but I'm gonna say, look,
bro,
I
Like
confess.
my uncle.
The one where you could see Errol face and it's wild chubby, I did that. But the side shit, I didn't do nothing of that. That is the image the way it is.
When you posted that
do
photo,
nothing of that.
I felt personally attacked when you did that big old round like puffy face. Made me feel bad about myself, man.
Fuck ate a blowfish, bro.
Bro, when you posted that picture, I looked at my own physique. I was like, damn, I look pretty good. Fuck, I don't even box like that.
You know what I'm saying? Spence, how you feeling good out here, B? And that's the other thing that Leon, the dude that Polo is talking about, is a dude named Leon. He's not a bad guy for what it's worth, but he's a rabid Tyson Fury fan. And, he talk about all the Fury, the typical Fury shit. And I'm like, you do realize that when Anthony fought Usyk for the second time, that was number 1 versus number 2.
Number 2.
Like, oh, yeah, because Fury, Bro, I told you before. When you keep telling people you retire, you know what's going to happen?
Why the fuck did he vacate it? Then why the fuck did he vacate the belt? They're going to strip you.
Because no man born of his mother can ever understand Tyson Fury,
Exactly.
That's one thing I give him. He plays mind games. Even though we don't like it, like I said, all I know, bro.
Yeah, but it's not, we give him too much credit when we say, like, it's not that he doesn't play mind games. He does. But not all of it is mind games. Some of it is just that you a fucking tweaker baby, bro. You a tweaker baby, bro.
Bro, all I
it's
know,
just
bro,
gypsy magic, man.
Yo, let AJ get some wins. I know we're not, but man, I think AJ, let him get some. That's one thing. I mean, AJ's one of my favorites, but bro, he needs to stay active, get some wins. Like, I don't want to say like
I love AJ.
I heard he's
going with Derek, y'all.
Right? And he fight Wale?
My God, I heard
I want that fight.
Yo, listen, I heard he going with Derek, y'all.
No,
good for Derek. He gets 2 paychecks.
Good for Derek. Good for Derek.
That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I was told.
Well, if he's fighting Derek, good for Derek. Derek needs another check. But
no, he going with Derek, bro. Derek James.
Derek James.
Oh, Derek James.
No, I'm saying
I was told.
I'm saying, what do you?
I thought you were talking about Chisora. I was like, what?
No.
That'd be cool.
Jules, you don't think that'd be cool? Mix? I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, what's wrong with it? I mean, he'll get him right.
I'll tell you what I don't like about it, Polo.
I don't like that.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. Not because I don't think Derek is this or that, right? But Derek got Frank, and Derek got Mel, and Derek got Errol. Feel me? So what was your thing with Robert Garcia? The conflicting schedules. Robert told him, yo, around March, my mans and them gonna be fighting, plus Bam gonna be fighting. You know, Jose Ramirez is fighting in March. Bam gonna be fighting around that time. He's like, yo, and he was trying to tell AJ, yo, look, come train over here, and then we could do that. You see what I mean? So your whole thing with Robert was that his schedule is kind of busy. Well, what you think Derek's shit gonna look like? Derek got
First of all, I think Derek ain't going to England. I can tell you that right motherfucking now. Derek
He's
ain't
not
going
going
there.
to. He's not going to the UK.
So if you're gonna train with Derek James, you coming to Texas. I'm
No,
telling you that right now.
But I tell you what, that's not that bad. If we gonna be out, you need to
A change of scenery is good for him.
Yeah, it's some fat old fast in Texas. He need to get some Texas pussy.
I want him to hang
Texas
around some
pussy.
Americans, man, so he can learn how to talk shit.
Talk shit, yo.
I want AJ to just be hungry, man. I want him to be a fucking rabid animal that
Tell
you
you,
let
look,
go.
B, look, B. Look, the Cowboys ain't shit, and they not never gonna be shit.
Whoa,
What?
whoa. No slander.
Y'all gonna see that
That's
Saturday.
America's
Y'all
team,
gonna see
baby.
that Saturday. You're gonna see that Saturday.
It's America's team, baby.
The Jets. Yo, Julius.
But I'm just being real. Texas is I like it, like in a way, like you need to go to Texas, bro. Like no bullshit.
Julius, you don't think he? I mean, bro.
And number two,
I don't know if he wants to live here.
and number two, Derek James has just as big an ego as AJ.
Yo, Julius, all AJ needs to do, bro, is just get a coach, start getting active, not taking this fight. Like, bro, get Wallin. Get as many top 10 guys.
Can I say this, Polo? Let me say this. This is who I think will be a perfect fit. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me.
Right.
I believe Abel Sanchez would be the perfect fit.
Isn't he retired?
Abel.
Why?
Yo, let him talk. Let him.
Abel's used to dealing with heavy-handed fighters that need to be more offensively minded. Garcia don't come from no deep amateur background, but Abel got him the 2 alphabet titles. Gennady Golovkin, he had him for a while. Like, I know that Gennady, was already a developed fighter, but we can't say that Abel didn't have nothing to do with that. There is a big difference between Abel Sanchez Golovkin and Jonathan Banks Golovkin. There's a big difference.
That would never happen.
Two, Big Bear Lake. One, you got a trainer who don't got a lot going on. Altitude. Your gas tank. And he don't have a lot going on. He not going to have to divide his time between you and 10, 20, 30. No, he don't have a lot going on. So I think Abel, that's just me, though. That's just me. Because he want like a Mick trainer,
That's actually like a good. That's really good.
Yo,
Honestly,
Julius, I was gonna ask you, what happened to Tony Sims? What does he need with Tony Sims in the beginning?
Bro, he don't want a UK trainer, bro. It's obvious. He don't want a UK trainer,
Why,
bro.
though, man? I don't know. AJ, I mean, like I said, AJ got it.
Because he saw what happened with Fury when Fury left his UK trainer and came and got that American crunch style going, and now Fury's the hottest thing on the market.
Yo, look, he should go. Matt, look. It's guys that they're not star trainers, but I see what they have that could help him. Like Tony Harrison, he training people right now. You see what I mean? Joey Gamache. The only thing that make Joey Gamache a bad idea is Joey trained Otto. So if you go with Joey, it ain't because you about to fight Otto. Yeah, so that'll kill that. Motherfucking who else? Buddy got a lot of shit going on. You got Yanni Beck, you got Smith, you got a lot of fighters.
Yeah, Buddy is
beefy. You got Dylan White. That's gonna be potential, man. Come on, like
Dillian White, bro. That's crazy to me. So
Julius, he'll be fine. Like I said, bro. All I'm asking, bro, he gets that and needs to stay active, bro. He actually does need to fight like top 10, top 15, like a Wallin, Bacoli. Fucking like, bro, he can get those scalps on him, bro. That's what built, but he can't like fight Wallin and then fight the next year. It's like, nah, bro. If he wants to be straight and be champion, he can be champion again.
But he left. You know what this shit is too, though. He don't got no fuck it, and that's what I don't like about him. You don't got no fuck it. Like, if it's me, Wilder, I will get to you when I fucking get to you, bro. You understand that shit? When I get to you, I'm gonna get to you. Fury, suck my dick. And get my name out your mouth. I'm on my time, you bitch.
What he should do is impose that A-side status if he does want Waldo. No, we ain't giving you no $100 million. No more.
That's what I mean, bro. The way that he act, the way he act like he always stepping on eggshell, and I don't like, bro. The reason they get fresh with you is because you don't say nothing. So you know what? If Derek can help you talk some Texas shit, I'm really with that shit. Like, go over there, talk that shit, yo. Derek, teach him.
Julius, bro. And it proved, Julius, last time proved that he's the A side. You see with Wilder's pay-per-view, he's the A side. Joshua, that's not even an argument.
Joshua just did 1.2 million.
Bro,
I'm saying, bro, Joshua can still sell within. I'm telling you, bro. Wilder proved that.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You gotta understand, like big fish, little fish. No woman born of the mother's milk can ever. Like, you gotta understand, man. Just because he makes more pay-per-view doesn't, like, you can't just look at marquee value to determine a fighter's pay. You gotta use Wakandan logic.
Listen, no man of drink Similac.
He's got to be black and he's got to be from America.
No man born of Similac can Tyson. Like, listen, I'd have told.
No man not born in Chernobyl can ever fight Fury and win. It's.
I'm trying to tell you, like, see, the shit that I don't like about AJ is, and these is real life facts, bro. I look better than all of y'all. I could fuck your bitch, Fury. You better leave me alone. Before I take some pictures with Paris, you better leave me. And you could talk. No, and you could talk that like I would talk that shit like, fam, it's because you keep talking about me, you bitch. Fuck, you keep talking about me and my dick. Fuck, you look like talking about me and my dick.
I bet he has a big dick.
I overshadowed Mayweather just by being there, man. The bitches didn't come from Mayweather. They came.
Yo, I'd have been texting Paris.
That was crazy.
No, listen, I would have got like, you like mind games, Fury? Watch me text Paris a dick pic.
Oh my god.
Paris, you want to see my dick? You know what? I'll be in her DM. Like, if I can't get her phone number, I'm gonna be in her DMs. Yo, Paris was rocking, yo. Fuck with a real one, yo. My dick.
Yo, Julius, Amir Khan's wife. Yo, Julius, Amir Khan's wife style, like that.
Yo, because remember, Fury's thing is having a psychological edge, because he try to fuck with people and poke the bear to get a response. So how would you feel if I'm in your wife DM? And you open her shit and you see my nipple of my chest. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just put my nipple right in the camera and she just looking at that like this was seen. Why didn't you tell me it just inch of the nipple in the chest? And I'm like, it's gonna be mad different. I'm gonna just show different angles of my dick. Like, look, this is the shaft, this is the tip, and this is the hole in the tip. You feel me? And this is the aerial view. And her whole DMs would be my dick from different angles. Like, you like mind games, right? Fury? You like to play with people, right?
One of his kids are gonna come out black one day.
But I mean, shit, it's pretty fitting seeing as he talk shit. I've seen Fury talk more about AJ's dick than any other one else in this whole wide world.
Yeah, that's weird, and bro. This shit,
Fury would be fucked up in the game if you did that, because you either gonna have to tell the whole world that I was DMing your baby moms. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, go ahead, show the world my dick, because it's mad big and fat and juicy. Show it to everybody, big. Go ahead, ain't no shame. Call the son, bro, and send him the pictures. Like, yeah, that's my meat. It's my meat,
bro. Put a little caption underneath that says "I'm Feel."
I am Feel, right? No. Matter of fact, send that to Paris. Like, yo, you feel? Are you feel?
Yo, Julius. I was about to ask you. Do you guys still rate Garcia as of now? Like,
no. He's too inactive, bro. He's too inactive.
Who?
Garcia, the cruiserweight that moved up to heavy, he don't fight, bro. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him, bro. But
he just fought. He just fought in August. But what if I mean,
bro? But that's what I mean, bro. And he fought in August, and then what?
Well, bro, it's August of this year. I mean, bro, he's not gonna get like.
I'll follow you. I'm saying that before August, he had a long stint of inactivity before August, and now August then came and went. You should have had another fight in the fall, not the fall, but at least in the winter, because you ain't been fighting. You fought, who was it? Michael Valish in August, and then what? Nothing.
Garcia is like, honest to God, he's kind of like Arthur to an extent. He just gets these injuries and he just sits out so long. Unlike Arthur still fights, but Garcia, when he gets an injury, he's out for like a year.
For real, like so I'm like, yo, you can't rate him. He don't fight. You can't rate him, bro. Like you don't fight. Like, to me, he should have stayed at cruiserweight, but the story was he couldn't make it anymore. So I'm like, well, I don't know, bro. But back to Paris. Listen, man, I'd have been all in her DMs, bro. I'd have been all in her shit. posting all type of
You
shit.
you gonna piss off the Fury fanboys,
Man,
man.
you
He
didn't-
does that.
you didn't
Because the main shit is I'm not doing that for her. If I want a fucking blonde, I could spit in the wind and get a blonde, bro. I'm fucking AJ, bro. I could fuck a blonde whenever I want. I'm doing this to fuck with him. Because your shit is, you like mentioning me to try to fuck with me. Oh, I'm gonna fuck with you, bro. See,
Hey.
you're not ruthless, and that's your problem. That you keep talking about me, that I gotta be a bitch, that I got no courage. I'm gonna show you what, bro. I'm gonna be in Paris DMs, B. And you gonna open and you gonna be mad. Ooh,
You would have Tyson and his father after you.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna give all of y'all fucking strokes, bro. Grand
Hey,
mal stroke seizures and shit, bro.
Jules, I'll tell you what, man. If Fury was faking that mental shit, he's gonna be really mental after that. He really
Bro,
will
I
be
would
in the
call,
house.
bro. No, listen. I would call him at night. Fury.
Bro,
And hang up.
pulling Ali and fucking Liston, man. Just stalk his ass every couple of minutes and just talk mad shit in public.
I'm telling you, like, I would, like, because your whole shit is, your upper hand really is, Fury's real upper hand is that he's willing to act like a child. He's willing to say anything like a 12-year-old would, just to have one up over on you. And that's the edge that he has that a lot of other people, well, they don't got the energy to be acting all retarded like that. But I'm a super retard, bro. Super, bro. I would be in your DMs. Oh, shit, my bad. That was for Paris. Oh, shit, my bad, bro. I ain't mean to send you that. You motherfucker.
Tell your girl to text me back. She knows what's up.
Yeah, Paris got my number. She know what's good.
Yeah, she know we're good.
Virtuoso said, I can't see myself paying 150 pounds to listen to Fury live stand up featuring the greatest hits. Yo, it's people, bro. It's people that they fuck with him like that, bro. They fuck with him.
I mean, Fury. I mean, like, respect to his trash talking though. I remember when he was trash talking Vlad. That's pretty much what Vlad was not in his A game. That trash talk got to him.
Yeah, it did. He got in his head, and that's the point. That's Fury's. That's a part. Like, he's a good boxer. Like, let's cut the shit and be honest.
Move. He sits on his
He's a good boxer, but another edge that he has is he talks a lot of shit. You know,
he's annoying.
Yeah, like Wilder. There's only one. Like, bro, I know you was mad. I know you was mad because you started saying the shit that he was saying. Like, bro, nobody says there's only one bronze bomber, bro. Like,
and don't you ever forget.
hey, remember when he interrupted him at the park? He's like, I beat you like a dog Klitschko, you big fucking dowser. I beat you like this is just an act. And like, yo,
bro,
you gotta give him credit though. He shut up Wilder and his fans. So like, you gotta give him the credit that he went in there as the B-side at one point.
No, yeah, I mean, like I give him credit for that. It's more like Wilder's resume. Well, no, listen. The thing is, look, Wilder is a good win for Fury. It is. It's not, I'm not saying it's a bad win. I'm saying that it's not what it's made out to be because Wilder is not George Foreman. No, it's not. It's not. Let me finish, fam. It's not up there with that. Why? Wilder, who did you beat? Oh, nobody. See, with George, he beat Joe Frazier in 2 rounds. Joe went 15 with Ali. Motherfucking George battered him in 2, dropped him 6 times, all right? That's a somebody. Wilder, well, you did that too? Spilka?
Well,
Molina?
Well, he beat Spilka, and Spilka's
be honest, Julius, here's the thing with the problem is maybe Wilder could have beat Pulev, Parker, but the guys in his era. The problem
he didn't, bro, and you don't get
I would favor
place you didn't have. And the other thing is, I don't like that's the thing that happens in this era that is like, fam, for all I know, a prime Pulev, maybe he would have beat him. Or prime Chisora.
That's what I'm saying. At least the thing is, bro, he could have fought some of them. Where like, okay, if you didn't fight Pulev, you fought Parker. If you didn't fight Povetkin, you fought White, or you fought.
But he didn't fight shit. He didn't, and he is from the Klitschko era. He debuted in 2008. He was around for both, and I'm like, fam, you fought no one for 7 years, and it wasn't because there wasn't nobody around.
Yo, that's crazy that Joshua's
32, I think.
Yeah, bro.
Joshua's young. He still got years.
He's 33.
Look,
33.
Hellenius was around. Chisora was around. Pulev was
Samuel
around.
Peter.
Samuel Peter was around. Povetkin was around. Takam was around. You
God bless
fought
Takam.
no one, bro. No one. How could you have been
Yo.
around for 7 years before you fought for a title and fought no one?
Yo, Julius, you know what's fucked up? That Joshua started later, and Joshua became unified before. Wilder has never become unified.
It's because Wilder.
Like-
It's because Wilder, even though being an Olympian, he went through like this age of just like fighting nobodies and quote unquote to get, I guess, acclimated to the pros, which was complete bullshit. But I remember that was something along the lines of the logic they used. It's like, oh yeah, we don't want to toss him out into like the deep ocean. We want to like ease him into
Right.
it, or some shit like
And
that.
this is
What
why.
it was,
And this
bro,
is why.
they
Even though Joshua lost 2 fights, it was still a great fighter. Moreover, Joshua was fighting for a title and fighting top 10 ranked opponents in 3 years of being a professional. Wilder, 7 years and 32 fights. It took you 7 years to get ready to fight a Stavern?
But remember, it was Luis Ortiz. You know, it was Luis Ortiz.
The
You know,
greatest
he's
Olympian of the
the
heavyweights.
he's the
The guy
original
that-
Isaac Cruz.
Really though, really that's the prototype.
That's facts.
It's
That is
Ortiz.
facts.
That's the motherfucking prototype. Like this all started.
No, yo, don't,
motherfuckers
bro,
pretending
don't do
that
that. At least
Ortiz
Cruz
is better
still
than
has
he
a-
is.
No, I'm
The
gonna do it
problem
like
is-
that because dead ass Luis Ortiz has fought fucking nobody.
Fought no one.
No, but
He fought.
but
He
Cruz
didn't
is younger,
look.
bro. Like,
No. Let's say this because now we could say he fought Wilder and he fought Ruiz. Now tell me, out of those two, which one did he beat?
none.
It's not a matter of how. It's not a matter if you win or lose. It's a matter of how you lose. You know, it's a moral victory.
Listen, bro. All I know is that dude didn't beat no one. Wilder and look, I'll say this much: Wilder's win over Ortiz would be better if that weren't one of the only good victories you have. You don't have you don't really have much outside of that. You got Stavern, who was a champion, so I give you that. He was a champion, and you did beat him. And you got Ortiz in 40-something fights. That's it. That's literally it. Them other guys, bro, you fought 32 guys. Don't nobody remember their names but me. Nobody, bro. You low-key, you got knocked out by Harold Sconez, but they let you get up. The footage, that shit is somewhere in the vault somewhere with the CIA files. All right? Wilder's a hype job. I'm sorry. And when I see Fury fans, they'll try to act like Wilder is really George Foreman so that Fury beating him will mean more than... No, bro. I know what you're doing. Wilder didn't fight nobody, bro.
It's you know, again, the one thing I've noticed since I went onto the boxing YouTube scheme is hypocrites, everyone. The same people that said he was a flat-footed fucking fighter, which they took...
Now he's the greatest thing ever.
You remember Fury in the second fight said, yeah, I like after the pros fight, I was like, I know everything. He's like, he has no back foot, blah, 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 all this. And then after the third fight, he's like, yeah, I'm number 1, he's number 2 because I beat him.
Yeah.
Like
it's all about glorifying himself, and it's obvious.
Exactly.
And his fans, something like I really do think when you fall in line that easy with what this dude's saying, something wrong with you. All right. Anybody can see that Wilder didn't fight shit. You only glorifying Wilder because of Fury. Yo, get off his dick, bro. Wilder didn't fight shit.
Hey, look,
it don't matter if Fury beat him. Wilder didn't fight shit. Same way Jeff Lacey didn't fight shit. Wilder didn't fight shit.
I would do you one better, Jules. I would ask these because again, I bet you could, and they wouldn't have a response. Name 10 people that Fury actually fought outside of Wilder. Outside of Wilder and Klitschko, because those are like everyone knows, even though I wouldn't count the Klitschko win as one of his better wins.
Bro, I only count. Look. I don't count the Chisora trilogy as 3 fights. I count that as one person. That's one person you fought 3 times. So it's Chisora, Klitschko, Wilder, and White. That's what you got.
Well, but the point I'm trying to get at is like these quote unquote fans of Tyson Fury only started becoming fans of Tyson Fury after the fucking second Wilder fight.
For real.
Like that's the reality of it. And so when you go about saying he's the second coming of fucking George Foreman or Ali or whoever the fuck you want to compare him to, it's like, no, he's really not.
I don't compare him to that era of Joe Louis. Like, no, you don't belong in that conversation because none of them cut out because they were saying mean things about me. So I need to retire. Fuck out my face, B.
Hey, look, I'm one of the. I was a huge fan of Usyk. I followed him in the amateurs. I love him because he's a Ukrainian fighter. You got to stick up for your people. But even I wouldn't rate him as like one of like the top 10 or top 15 or even top 20.
Chill, my God. Because if Usyk, I'm gonna just say this: if Usyk beats this fucking fat fuck, Usyk is an ATG. He's a living legend.
Look, I'll tell you what. If that fight ever happens, but honest to God, I have the same amount of expectation for this fight to happen as I do for the fucking Bud versus ESJ.
This will happen before Bud and Spence, though. I think this will happen
with the sanctioning organization starting to pile on mandatories. I really don't see this fight happening, Jules.
Well, look, we'll see. Now, gentlemen, I'm old and I'm gonna go to sleep. It's been a pleasure. And
go back to your Flintstone cave.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got a question before y'all leave.
Go ahead.
Who holds the record for most title defenses at light heavyweight? Is it Bivol?
No, the most. Oh, wait. You talking about most title? Wait, you talking about now or overall?
Yeah, like consecutive.
It's not Bivol. I know that. I don't think it's Bivol. Ain't it Michael Spence?
I think it is Spence. Wait.
I don't know if his was
not Bivol, bro. I'll tell you what. It's not Bivol though. It's not Bivol.
Because I looked it up and they said Virgil Hill, but his was 10 and Bivol got 10.
Well, then, at minimum, that means Bivol tied him. At minimum. Wow, Bivol about to break a record, yo. That's crazy. Liam Rockwell says Wilder knocked out our mascot, not realizing there's an actual human inside it. The guy is intelligently challenged. That's one way to put it.
Wasn't it Darius? I think because I know Darius.
All right. On that note, gentlemen, I am off for the night. I will catch you on the next one.
Have a good night, everybody.
Don't do drugs.